We start.
Yes, Prabhu, you can start.
Okay, let's begin. Welcome all of you for today's Ishopanishad session. Let us begin with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Reading from Sri Ishopanishad by His Divine Grace Vishwaguru Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Mantra 8. Saparyagat Shukramakayam Avranam Asnaviram Shuddhamapapavidham Kavirmanishi Paribhu Swayambhu यथा तत्यतोर्थान् व्यददा शाश्वतेभ्यः समाभ्यः. Translation and purport by Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Such a person must factually know the greatest of all, the personality of Godhead, who is unembodied, omniscient, beyond reproach, without veins, pure and uncontaminated, the self sufficient philosopher who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. We'll read the purport from the last part, from the part where we left in the last session. In this mantra, as well as in many other Vedic mantras, it is clearly stated that the Lord has been supplying goods to the living entities from time immemorial. A living being desires something, and the Lord supplies the object of that desire in proportion to one's qualification. If a man wants to be a High Court judge, he must acquire not only the necessary qualifications, but also the consent of the authority who can award the title of High Court judge. The qualifications in themselves are insufficient for one to occupy the post. It must be awarded by some superior authority. Similarly, the Lord awards enjoyment to living entities in proportion to their qualifications, but good qualifications in themselves are not sufficient to enable one to receive awards. The mercy of the Lord is also required. Ordinarily, the living being does not know what to ask from the Lord, nor which post to seek. When the living being comes to know his constitutional position, however, he asks to be accepted into the transcendental association of the Lord in order to render transcendental loving service unto him. Unfortunately, living beings under the influence of material nature ask for many other things, and they are described in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 41, as having divided or splayed intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is one, but mundane intelligence is diverse. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, verses 30 and 31, it is stated that those who are captivated by the temporary beauties of the external energy forget the real aim of life, which is to go back to Godhead. Forgetting this, one tries to adjust things by various plans and programs, but this is like chewing what has already been chewed. Nonetheless, the Lord is so kind that He allows the forgetful living entity to continue in this way without interference. Thus, this mantra of Sri Ishopanishad uses the very appropriate word yatha tatyataha, indicating that the Lord rewards the living entities just in pursuance of their desires. If a living being wants to go to hell, the Lord allows him to do so without interference. And if he wants to go back home, back to Godhead, the Lord helps him. God is described here as Paribhuhu, the greatest of all. No one is greater than or equal to him. Other living beings are described here as beggars who ask goods from the Lord. The Lord supplies the things the living entities desire. If the entities are equal to the Lord in potency, if they were omnipotent and omniscient, there would be no question of their begging from the Lord, even for so called liberation. Real liberation means going back to Godhead. Liberation, as conceived by an impersonalist, is a myth, and begging for sense gratification has to continue eternally unless the beggar comes to his spiritual senses and realizes his constitutional position. Only the Supreme Lord is self sufficient. When Lord Krishna appeared on earth 5000 years ago, he displayed his full manifestation as the personality of Godhead through his various activities. In his childhood, he killed many powerful demons such as Aghasura, Bakasura, and Shakatasura, and there was no question of his having acquired such power through any extraneous endeavor. He lifted Govardhana hill without even practicing weightlifting. He danced with the gopis without social restriction and without reproach. Although the gopis approached him with a paramour's feelings of love, the relationship between the gopis and Lord Krishna was worshipped even by Lord Chaitanya, who was a strict sannyasi and rigid follower of disciplinary regulations. To confirm that the Lord is always pure and uncontaminated, Sri Ishopanishad describes him as Shuddham, antiseptic, and Apapavidham, prophylactic. He is antiseptic in the sense that even an impure thing can become purified just by touching him. The word prophylactic refers to the power of his association. As mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 30 and 31, a devotee may appear to be Sudurachara, not well behaved in the beginning, but he should be accepted as pure devotee because he should be accepted as pure because he is on the right path. This is due to the prophylactic nature of the Lord's association. The Lord is also apapa vidham because sin cannot touch him. Even if he acts in a way that appears to be sinful, such actions are all good, for there is no question of his being affected by sin. Because in all circumstances he is Shuddham, most purified, he is often compared to the sun. The sun extracts moisture from many untouchable places on the earth, yet it remains pure. In fact, it purifies obnoxious things by virtue of its sterilizing powers. If the sun, which is a material object, is so powerful, then we can hardly begin to imagine the purifying strength of the all powerful Lord. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. So, we have been discussing the mantra 8 of Ishopanishad from the last two sessions. And as we have discussed previously, this mantra gives a list of the transcendental characteristics of the Supreme Lord. Some of them we have already discussed in the previous sessions. Here, today, we will discuss some of them as we read in the purport, this part of the purport. So, Prabhupada explains that the Lord is the one who actually supplies the needs of every living entity. There is a verse in the Kathopanishad where it is said, Eko yo bahunam vidadhati kaman. The Supreme Lord is the fulfiller of the desires and necessities of the innumerable living entities who are his parts and parcels. That means eternally, all the jivas, all of us, we are dependent on Krishna for our requirements. Whether we are in the spiritual world or in the material world, all our requirements are supplied by the Supreme Lord. He is supremely independent and we are eternally dependent on Him. This is a very important realization that we should have on our path of advancement in Krishna consciousness. A materialistic person, he thinks that I am a self made man. By my own efforts, I have reached my successful position. I have earned my wealth. I have gained so many followers because of my own talents, by my own abilities, by my own hard work. So they say that I am a self sufficient person. I am a self made person. But it is not a fact at all. Nobody apart from the Lord can claim that he is self sufficient. Everybody, including the greatest devatas like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they get their qualities, they get their requirements, they get their abilities, they do their activities only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. This is a very important realization that a devotee must have. We should never falsely claim that we are self made or we are independent. It is simply a hallucination, it is simply an imagination to think like that. So, the Supreme Lord fulfills the desires of everybody, and we are eternally maintained by the Supreme Lord. We should recognize this. Lord is my maintainer. I am maintained by the Lord. So I have a relationship with the Lord as on the platform of maintainer and maintained. He is my maintainer. So he is my bharta. Bharta means maintainer. He is my maintainer. And I am maintained by him. So I am bhritya. Bhritya means the servant who is maintained by the Lord. So the Lord is bharta, the maintainer, and we are bhritya, the maintained, the servant. A servant need not have to worry about his maintenance as long as he is sincerely serving the master. In the same way, when we sincerely serve the Lord with our abilities and talents which are given to us by the Lord Himself, then we can be rest assured that the Lord will surely maintain us. We don't have to work hard in this material world for our maintenance. This is a very big hoax going on in this world. People think that we have to work very hard so that we can live happily, we can live in prosperity. But it is not a fact. There may be many people who are working hard, but if the Lord's mercy is not there, they may not get their desired results. At the same time, there may be somebody who may not be working very hard, but they are leading a very happy, peaceful, satisfied, contented life by the blessings of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says that if you go to the African jungles, there are many, many elephants, and they are very huge in size. And these elephants eat tons and tons of grass every day they need for their maintenance. Now, who is providing these tons and tons of grass and leaves for their maintenance? Nobody but the Lord. So the Lord is the maintainer. So we should not simply think that I should work very hard, struggle, then maintain myself. This is not a right understanding. I must do my duty, but results are sanctioned by the Lord. The Lord is my maintainer. Srila Prabhupada also said that we have temples all over the world, and in every temple, Hare Krishna temple, there are so many devotees. And these devotees have given up their material career and they have joined the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to practice and to preach Krishna consciousness. So they do not have any fixed source of income. Yet the devotees of the Lord are eating very nice prasadam every day. They are leading a very happy and contented life. More than what a rich man who works very hard, more than their level of satisfaction, the devotees of the Lord experience every day. and they lead a very carefree, anxiety free life. This is because the devotees are personally maintained by the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada says, we are not running behind Lakshmi. The whole world is running behind Lakshmi, money, but we are running behind Krishna, Narayana. And when we catch hold of the lotus feet of Narayana or Krishna, Lakshmi Devi follows Narayana, isn't it? So this secret only the devotees know. Foolishly, materialistic people run behind material wealth, but they don't understand that Lakshmi is a property of Narayana. Wherever there is Narayana's worship going on, there is no scarcity of wealth, there is no scarcity of Lakshmi. This is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita also. The last verse of the Bhagavad Gita says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. After hearing the entire Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya's conclusion is this: wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, his supreme devotee, there is always full opulence, wealth, there is highest morality, and there is real happiness, right? So there is opulence, there is dharma, there is morality, there is happiness. Wherever there is Krishna and his pure devotee. So this is the secret. This is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is our maintainer, and a devotee should contemplate on this fact every moment in his life. Oh, I am maintained by Krishna. Whatever Krishna gives me, it is prasadam. I will accept it. Hmm? This should be the mood of a devotee. Now, Prabhupada also says Krishna fulfills the desires of all living entities based on based on whether they are qualified to get those desired desires fulfilled or not. That means there are two things. One is our qualification. Second is the mercy of the Lord. So I may desire many things, but do I deserve it? We should also understand this. We may desire so many things, but do I deserve it? So Krishna checks whether we deserve it or not. And then the second factor is his mercy, right? Sometimes even if we don't deserve, Krishna may fulfill it by his mercy. So both factors are should be taken into consideration. The law of karma makes sure that we get only what we deserve, right? Based on our past karma, whatever we have done in this material world in our past lives, we have a karma balance, and the law of karma keeps track of all our activities, and accordingly, we are given material results. So, whatever we may desire so many things, but do we deserve it? That is decided by the laws of karma, right? Now, whereas on the spiritual platform, uh, if Krishna wants to give something to his devotee, Krishna can give it even if his karma does not allow it. Therefore, Krishna's mercy is a dominant factor on the spiritual domain. On the material domain, for those who have no relationship with Krishna, those who are not devotees, their lives are only managed by the laws of karma. But when one becomes a devotee and sincerely surrenders to Krishna, agrees to follow the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master, his life changes because Krishna interferes with his karma. Krishna can change a devotee's karma. Karmani nirdahati kintucha bhakti bhajam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajam. Just by rendering devotional service to Krishna, Krishna, if he wishes, he can change the karma of his devotees. That is also an important learning that we derive from this part of the purport. Now, the next point that Srila Prabhupada says is people in this world, they are captivated by the temporary beauties of the external energy in this world, because of which they forget the real aim of life. So they try to make adjustments in the material world and say that this world is very nice, just I have to make some adjustments and I will settle down in this world nicely, happily. But that is not a fact. That is not the right understanding. We have to. It is like chewing the chewed. Whatever we are doing in the material in our lives currently, we have done it n number of times in our past lives. The same old thing we are trying to do in this life also, trying to derive some happiness in the material world. This is compared to chewing the chewed by Prahlad Maharaj in the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the pleasures that we are trying to derive through our senses, this we have done n number of times previously also. Now we should not continue to do the same thing like animals running behind sense pleasure. We should not do that. Prahlad Maharaj, in fact, says one must give up such tendency for sense enjoyment and one should take up spiritual life seriously. One should become determined. This lifetime, I'm going to fully engage in Krishna's service. Let me do something which I have not done in millions of lifetimes. I have not done devotional service to Krishna with full determination in millions of lifetimes. That is why I am still stuck in the cycle of birth and death. So, this lifetime, I have got some intelligence by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. I have got such wonderful opportunity to associate with devotees, to learn about Krishna consciousness, to cultivate bhakti. I have got such wonderful opportunity. Let me take the best advantage of this. Let me grab all the opportunities that I get for rendering service to the Lord and His devotees. So let me become spiritually intelligent, at least in this lifetime. So we should make a determination like this. Otherwise, we will simply continue the same old stuff of chasing after sense pleasure that we have done in millions of lifetimes. So, Srila Prabhupada also says here that if somebody wants to lead a life based on sense gratification, Krishna does not interfere with him. Krishna does not try to forcefully change such a person. Of course, it is not difficult for Krishna to change anybody's mind, but Krishna does not do it because Krishna respects each and every jiva's free will. So, if somebody wants to lead a life based on sense pleasure and he wants to go to hell, Krishna will not interfere with such a person. In fact, Krishna, who is seated within his heart as Paramatma, will give him the required intelligence according to his desires to enjoy sense gratification. But if one is become a devotee, one has become a devotee and one says, my Lord, I have so many weaknesses. I have attraction for sense pleasure, but I also know that I should not be indulging in sense pleasure. I want to serve you. Please guide me. If we pray to the Lord like this, the Paramatma within the heart will also give guidance on how to go back to Godhead. So, Paramatma is neutral. Based on the desire of the individual person, Paramatma will guide. We have all come to bona fide spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. Why? Because at some point we had some sincere desire to know Krishna, to serve Krishna, and Paramatma in the heart has sensed this, so he has guided us to Srila Prabhupada. We should not think that by chance we have landed up here in the association of devotees. We should not think that by chance we have come to Srila Prabhupada. No, it is the guidance of the Paramatma within the heart. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. Krishna says, if one is sincere in coming back to me, I will give the required guidance, I will give the required direction to such a sincere seeker so that he can quickly come back to me. So Paramatma is ready to guide us, but are we ready to desire strongly and sincerely to always be Krishna conscious? That we should question ourselves. Sometimes we desire to be Krishna conscious. Most of the time we are not interested in Krishna. Krishna thoughts are not there in the mind. Then it is not a very good thing. So we should consciously put efforts to remember Krishna throughout the day, not only during chanting. Throughout the day, we should put conscious efforts. If Krishna is pleased with our conscious efforts, then Krishna will surely give us the required guidance. And Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna is our master and he is our provider. He is the greatest of all. There is nobody greater than him or equal to him, and therefore he is called Paribhuhu. Paribhuhu means the greatest of everyone, among everyone. And all of us are beggars. We are maintained by him, right? So some people are begging for sense gratification in this world. Some people are begging for liberation of merging into him. Some people are begging to engage in his devotional service. But everybody is a beggar in this world, and Krishna is the provider. So we have to beg the Lord not for sense gratification. We should not beg the Lord for merging into Him, but we should only beg the Lord, please engage me in your service. Please engage me in your devotional service. This is the prayer that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us. Now, another point that Srila Prabhupada says is Krishna is self sufficient. He is not dependent on anybody. From the beginning of his manifest Leelas on this earthly planet, when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago in Dwapar Yuga, even as a child, Krishna was self sufficient. Krishna killed so many demons even when he was a few days old baby. Krishna killed Putana. Krishna killed Aghasura, Bakasura, Trunavarta, so many demons he killed without any external help. He killed himself. This shows that he is self sufficient. Many people they say that Krishna got all his powers because he was meditating, he was doing yoga. This is nonsense. Krishna is Yogeshwara. He is the master of all yogic powers. So, what is the need for him to do some yoga? There is no need. Krishna did not do any meditation and become God. He's not that kind of God. Many people they make a publicity. Krishna meditated and became God. Now you also come to our meditation center, learn meditation. You can also become God. So these are all foolish, bogus propaganda. Krishna is not a manufactured God. Krishna is always God. Krishna is always the supreme personality of Godhead. So this we have to understand. No one can become God by meditation or by any other process. So Krishna is self-sufficient and Krishna is also called as Apapa Vidham. Apapa Vidham means no sin can touch him, as we have discussed. He is beyond all material sins and pious activities. Pious activities and sins apply only to the conditioned souls of this material world, whereas Krishna is beyond all this. Krishna is Shuddham. He is completely pure, uncontaminated. And Prabhupada uses the word antiseptic. We use antiseptic like Dettol. When we have some wounds or something, we apply Dettol. The reason is when we apply Dettol, what happens? All the disease causing germs will be destroyed and further wound will not aggravate. That means that's called antiseptic action, isn't it? So in the same way, Krishna is called antiseptic, means what? Anybody who is constantly in touch with Krishna can become free from all contaminations. So we have to always be in touch with Krishna. We can remain pure always. So Prabhupada gives an example of the sun. Sun, it evaporates water from different sources. Sun evaporates water from well, from ponds, from lakes, from rivers, from oceans. Sun also evaporates water from dirty places, isn't it? Even from urine, the sun evaporates water. But the sun does not get contaminated by that urine or any other dirty object. If an ordinary material object like sun can be so powerful that it does not get contaminated, even when it apparently comes in contact with a contaminated object, then imagine about Krishna. What is his position? That is why Arjuna glorifies Krishna in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Krishna is supremely pure. So We should not judge Krishna's activities from our materially contaminated vision, right? Many people, they say, they try to find faults with Krishna's activities, but that is only because of their material vision. Krishna is above all material contamination. In fact, just by hearing about Krishna's activities, one can become free from all contaminations and become purified and go back to Godhead. That is attaining real liberation. Real liberation means to go back to Godhead and engage as servant of Krishna, which is our constitutional position. So just by remembering Krishna, chanting his holy names, hearing about his activities, one can attain real liberation, real purification. Then how Krishna himself can become contaminated? It is not at all possible. So these were some of the points that Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport of the eighth mantra of Sri Ishopanishad. We will meet again in the next session and we will start with the ninth mantra of Ishopanishad. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time. Sri Ishopanishad ki jai, Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In a few moments, we will be chanting the verses from the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Request you to please stay online.